Welcome back to the show. Thank you for watching Living Local today. We're coming up to the end of the summer and families are starting to plan for back to school. Now it's an exciting time for most kids, but for others, this time can be filled with a lot of anxiety. Now with advice for parents is CEO Dr. Rich Whitaker in this segment, which is sponsored by Vera French Mental Health Community Center. Thank you for being here with us today.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yes, so timely topic, and it's something that I'm sure a lot of parents could be worried about, and students of course too. Why can this be a stressful time for students as they're getting back to school?
You know, anytime you make a big change or there's a transition, it can really be stressful. And especially for some kids that maybe have a little bit of extra anxiety, this can be a tough time for them.
And is this something that you feel like is maybe heightened as students are returning back to class, especially during the time that we're living in right now?
Yeah, I mean, you know, on a good year, it might be difficult. But now we've got COVID, we've got the Delta variant, we've got mask issues and all of that, the vaccinations potentially for our little kids. And so there's lots to worry about, lots to think about, and kids may be stressed.
So many more factors really that are at play, honestly. Now, other than school supplies and clothes, how can parents support their students emotionally as they're heading back to class?
Well, you know, one of the things we know is that kids love routine. Now, you wouldn't think that, but they do. They thrive in routine and structure, and so helping to get back to those school routines early, maybe start to practice bedtimes, you know, all the things that make going to school kind of just the routine of the day. That's going to help. Bringing it up with your child that, hey, school's coming up in a couple of weeks, you know, talking about their teacher, talking about their schedule, the excitement of that first day. You know, thinking about how you can practice and maybe even go to school with your child when school is not in session, and talking about where things are, and maybe it's a new school for a new middle schooler, but making sure that they're familiar with their school. And then when they have concerns and they bring those up, listen to those concerns, validate their feelings, you know, let them know that, hey, it's okay to be nervous, and maybe even share that when I went to school, I was nervous too, you know. And then finally, I think it's really important to make it special. Even if you don't have a lot of money, you're not able to buy a lot of new things, if they can have one new thing that they go to school with and they're excited about taking that to school, that's going to make it a special day for them.
I think we all remember what it feels like when you had that new binder, those new notebooks, whatever it might be, the new backpack. It really sets the tone. You feel like the coolest kid in school.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I remember my Scooby-Doo lunchbox. I mean, that was a cool thing.
But little things like that can really make an impact, and that's something that is very good advice for parents at home too as we're heading into the school year. Now, let's say a student who's worried about going back to school says, I don't really want to go back to school. What are some things that parents can say to their kids? What are some conversations that they can have? You
know, that's a perfectly okay thing for a child to say, is that I don't want to go to school. And you know, you don't have to get in an argument. You can just agree with them. Yeah, I know summer's been fun, hasn't it? And talk about it with them. Open the conversation up. You'll find out some things, maybe some concerns they have, and you can help to resolve some of those if you just take time.
Absolutely. At what point would you say it's important for parents to maybe seek professional help for their students if they are dealing with some really hard things or they notice changes in their kids?
Well, you know, for the little ones, preschool age, if they're more clingy, if they're crying more, if maybe they even regress a little bit and some milestones like potty training isn't really going so well anymore, that's a sign that maybe there's increased and kind of a heightened level of anxiety. And that's when you might go to a professional for a little one. School-age kids, kids that are very resistant to going to school, or you know, when they have other kinds of oppositional behaviors, or maybe even headaches or stomach aches, some of those things can be a sign that there's more anxiety going on with that youngster. And then when you see teens getting more into refusing to go to school, or they're withdrawn, or they isolate, or maybe they even go to some risky behaviors like substance use, those are some signs that there's also something underlying, and that's maybe time to get help from a professional.
Absolutely. Now lastly, before we go, if parents are seeing those signs, where can they reach out to you all?
Well, Vera French has same-day access, so they can get in right away, just calling our main number that'll be on the screen. But, you know, It's just not hard to get help anymore because you can come in that very day. We have those times and dates listed on our website. So we're glad to see everybody who needs help.
Okay, fantastic. Well, Dr. Rich, as always, thanks for stopping by. Always good to catch up with you, and thanks for sharing this really important topic.
You're welcome.
Of course.
It's great to be here.
Yes. Now, once again, the segment was sponsored by Vera French Community Mental Health Center, and if you want to learn some more information or you want to utilize their services, visit verafrenchmhc.org. And we've also got those details posted over on our website at ourquadcities.com.